Hi, and welcome to our kitchen. Tonight, we're cooking to the beat with a very, very fine conductor. Welcome, Donald Runnicles. Guten Abend, come in.
They're playing my tune.
They're playing your song. Hi, welcome, Donald.
I brought you some.
You brought me some stuff.
There.
Oh, thank you so much.
I thought you'd appreciate
Flowers for
that.
the lady. Let me take that. It weighs
It's
a
too
ton.
heavy.
Put it on
By
the
the time
table.
we finish eating
Put
this.
it on the table. Say hi to, give me your hat. Say hi to your guests.
Good
Thank
evening.
you. Do you have anything for
Buonasera.
Anna? Do you have
How nice
anything
of
for
you
Anna?
came. Ladies first. You're very sweet, but this is an Italian opera, so.
Und heute Abend unsere Gäste mit Donald sind die Anna Smirnova, Mezzosopran, und Massimo Giordano, Italian tenor. They've all been working together in Don Carlos at the Deutsche Oper. And
You
as
should
usual,
really have picked an Italian soundtrack, but never mind.
an Italian soundtrack, I guess that might have been better. But we have Rheingold, it fits you as well,
That's true.
with our kitchen pianist, Philip Meyers. So, give him the money, pay him first. Philip, what do you think? Philip,
Yes.
would you mind serving
Stop
the drinks? You know, stop playing. You know, Philip actually.
Stop playing.
Philip
Give
is
us some
our
wine.
culinary keyboardist. This is what we like to call him. But actually, Philip, you're almost out of work today because we have another culinary keyboardist here.
Well, that means
You
I
do?
have more time to turn pages. I presume.
Who's coming? Who's coming? Oh, me!
Yes, you. Let me take your scarf and your
And I
coat.
very thrive on the conductor.
All right.
What do you think of this lark? Do you think it's easier to conduct a Wagner opera than it is to cook on telly?
I think it's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Somehow you've rehearsed premieres, and this feels. But it's fun.
It's just
I would
as
never ever
spontaneous.
thought that anybody would be interested in my cooking.
Tell me what we're going to make. It says here on the board, Donald's Wyoming Special. But actually, Wyoming? Where's that in Scotland?
Very funny. We have a place, we have a festival, Sarah. That is we. I direct a festival in Wyoming. It's in the Grand Teton National Park.
Is that the
In
origin
Jackson.
of this fabulous picture
Oh,
of you
the
with the
Stetson,
Stetson?
yes. I
That's
didn't have it
amazing.
tonight, I didn't bring it to Berlin. But anyway, that festival runs 7 weeks, and I'm music director there. And the nice thing, besides the great music and a lot of fine orchestral players, is the fact that my family, my girls, Adele, my wife is there, and we get to cook a lot. And that's actually where I started to grill more and more and more. And I'm absolutely, actually, that's really the only thing I can do. But we've just basically developed a sort of modest repertoire when it comes to
Well,
grilling.
I don't know. I spoke to a couple of people that have had your shrimps, and they all seem to rave about them. So you're being very
Well,
modest.
you're very nice.
And first of all, I
reviewing
would
it
say,
before you've even.
Cheers.
Cheers, Massimo.
is it okay for tenors to sing the night, to drink?
Yes.
Na zdrowie.
Very.
And Hannah.
Cooking at home is actually, I must say, for a musician, quite a luxury because we're on the road so much. And eating in restaurants and eating late. And I've always wondered, how do conductors pace themselves through these incredibly long Wagner operas?
It's a good question. For me, it's very often it's the prelude to the performance. How do you pace yourself through a long day? If you know you're going to conduct Don Carlo or you're conducting the Rheingold or whatever, what do you do to? I love the sound of work.
It's great, they're very quiet.
how
Have
do
they ever
you-
been so quiet for
When
you?
do you eat? When do you sleep?
Yeah, when
because
do you eat,
basically
when do you
everybody
sleep?
else, or most people who are not performing, their day peaks, let's say, in the middle of the day. And as you know, with the Philharmonic, Sarah, the evening is where we have to be hot and on. And so for me, part of the cooking exercise is finding a time during the day where just a few hours before a performance, you have the calories, you have something to burn.
You have to.
But it can't be too heavy that you come to the performance and all your blood is in your stomach. And those are some of the things that one doesn't think about.
But do you find,
as you start as a young, relatively inexperienced conductor or performer, you usually find you give the first 10 minutes absolutely everything you've got. Rosenkavalier.
Yeah, those are the most important ones for us horn players anyway.
Well, yes, and then the prelude after 3 minutes is and the thought is, oh my goodness, I have another 4 hours to conduct. And so really, it's the more you do it, it's like I compare it to a marathon runner. Yeah. You just have to, you don't start conducting big Wagner operas, you start with the routine. That's the way I did it, and you start with the Donizetti. And you basically work your way.
Did you really start with shorter operas and work your way up? It's a concentration thing, though, isn't it, too?
Yes.
I found that when I started playing at the opera, it's really my brain would just go after about 2 hours because it was only used to doing concerts.
Well, absolutely, and you also have to factor in that you're not only responsible for your own concentration, but you're responsible for potentially 150 people's concentration. And any human being playing or singing are going to find over 4.5 hours dips.
You know how you do. We have our bars rest where we can just sort of have a little thinking time as horn players. Would you like an apron, by the way?
Do you have one?
We do.
You have a Wyoming special?
What does go through your head when you're coming out there? To do a mammoth long Wagner opera, Meistersinger, which is the longest one? The absolute longest one? The Ring, I guess, altogether.
I would say, good question. I would probably Götterdämmerung is the longest, the fourth of the Ring cycle. Yeah. What goes through my head? Do you know what often goes through my head is, why don't I have a normal 9-to-5 job? Why am I starting to conduct at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Other people are on there. I'm past people. I'm going the other direction.
That goes through my head.
Do you know what I think?
I know exactly that thought. You think, what are we doing here? It's so terrifying. It'd be so nice to work in an office and go home at 5 o'clock and play with the family.
It really goes through my head. But at the same time, you think, well, here at the Deutsche Oper, you have a packed house. You have 1,900 people. In San Francisco, where I spent many years conducting, you have a house of 3,400 people.
So big.
And they are so avid, so eager, so enthusiastic. So in that moment you think, you might not actually speak to any individual after the show, but you could be making a phenomenal difference to their lives, besides just enjoying the music yourself. Yeah. So you have to sort of get away from the selfish of what am I doing? It's the feeling, what are you doing for other people too?
Yeah, that's true. And it is for us, it is for us a job. Take them back, tell them, you're the conductor, you tell them what you want.
So kann ich nicht arbeiten, Anna, die sind zu groß.
Nein, du hast mir
Die sind
Also, du hast mir
etwas kleiner, etwas kleiner bitte.
Also so
Danke.
dünn, aber so lang, oder?
So lang ist wunderbar, aber etwas dünner.
They're here.
It's okay. Are you happy?
That is fantastic.
This is,
I have never gotten it that
This is true art, Massimo. This is true art. Ein Schluck zum Anstoßen. Philip, I would say, we say cheers,
How about
you say
Libiamo?
cheers here, and we are going to have a little flourish. In your honor.
There you are.
Liviamo nelle codici che la bellezza infiora e la fuggevol ora s'inebria voluta liviane dolci fremiti che suscita l'amore poiché quell'occhio al cuore onnipotente va liviamo amore amor tra i conici più caldi baci avrà
Old wine. It's it's wine's fault.
It's
Sorry.
the wine.
It's the wine's fault. It's the
Cheers.
wine's fault.
That's amazing. Fantastic.
Okay.
Ist das gut für die Stimme, Anne? Geht das?
Was?
So viel Senf?
Yeah, but when
Senf
it,
ist immer gut.
Senf is immer gut.
Yeah.
when
She said
it's
mustard's always
all
good
right,
for the
when it's
voice.
mixed up, you don't really taste it very much.
Okay, okay.
So we put that in,
Okay.
and then I'm going to put
Anna
a little bit of.
Kochlöffel?
Kochlöffel?
That's not what I was thinking of. But you're the tenor, you have to always
Sorry.
fight for the girl, right?
Do we have
Donald?
a spoon to mix? Oh, that's
You took the spoon with your right hand.
so.
Do you cut with your right hand in the kitchen? If you conduct,
No, I cut with my left hand.
if I was going to give you this, what hand would you take that with?
I would expect everybody to basically
They will,
genuflect.
we will. You take it
Get
with
down
your
on
left
your
hand.
knees, and I will give
Yeah.
you the cue, and there you are. Did you hear that?
Do you know that Donald's left-handed?
Of course.
And?
Since the first moment.
Hast du das auch gemerkt, dass er Linkshänder ist?
Kann ich
Ja,
was?
der.
Wenn er dirigiert?
Nö.
Nee? Nö? Hast du nicht gemerkt?
All right.
It's a really interesting question because we discussed this a lot in our orchestra when Donald came to. But would you sing Wagner?
Maestro,
Maestro?
should I sing
Can
Wagner?
Massimo sing Wagner?
Have another drink.
Have another drink. Cheers. Cheers. What's going on over here?
No, I don't think you should be doing any Wagner.
I would say it's getting a little bit quiet here in the kitchen. It's about time you singers sang for your supper.
Would you
Don't
sing for
think?
your supper? We'll need probably another 15
15
minutes or so
minutes?
with this.
So who's going first? Age
Please.
before beauty or ladies first?
For me.
Gosh, you couldn't say that in America. Political correctness.
Oh, really?
My goodness.
Massimo.
Okay, but I need a muse that is gonna inspire me. Do you wanna be
I
the
will
muse?
sit at
I'm
the
happy
piano.
to be your muse.
Oh God,
I'm
let's
ha-
do
I
it.
will-
83. My teacher was a pianist, and there was Boris Christoph, that was the bass, and he was singing, I think, right, Don Carlo, and he was in love with the chorist from the chorus, and she was very pretty. So he went on the stage. He walks on the stage. He arrives. Okay, and start his aria, no? But the pianist bastard put the arias half step up, and it was like. To sing it, scream it out, but he kept it till the end.
Did he? And did he
You
get
know,
the
in
girl?
order to get the woman.
Did he get the girl? He got it?
Are you ready?
I have no clue. Down, down.
Maestro.
Oh, well, he got this girl. He got this girl. And it's amazing to be so close to someone when they're singing. I never had this before. No, but it's incredible. It's an amazing. It's incredible.
Quite exciting, isn't
The vibrations. I mean, from the voice.
Well, just coming back to the shrimp.
I did all this for nothing. I'm sorry.
Well, if that's how the Italians get the girls, then I tell you, it really works.
Famous Latin lover.
I'm in the wrong line of work. I should have been a singer. I either want to be a mezzo or the love of the Italian tenor. But what's it like when you stand so close to each other and you have these vibrations going? I mean, it's an incredible, it's almost like a Rammstein concert.
Try to ask to the flute player that is just next to you, when you are playing the other.
This is true. Yes. Massimo used to be a flute player, so he knows exactly how painful it is for the flutes to sit next to the horns. This is what he meant. Yeah. But you have to pretend to be in love with this woman who's actually breaking your eardrums.
But you are beyond that.
Yeah.
It's just.
Are you acting in the moments where you're hitting these amazing high notes? Or are you.
Well, when you have the difficult passages, like, very high notes or very difficult passages, just have to keep going and concentrate on what you have to sing.
Denkst du auch, wenn du diese hohe Töne hast und diese unglaubliche Intensität, denkst du, oh Gott, hoffentlich, oder denkst du nur, machst du auf und dann lässt du einfach die Sau raus, wie man sagt auf Deutsch. Oh. Sorry, darf man das sagen? Beep. Weißt du, man macht sich einfach auf als Sängerin und es kommt einfach raus.
Ja, man muss gut einsingen.
Einsingen. She said one has to sing to warm up, like you two. You didn't warm up for 1 second, and you still come up with these amazing things.
And we drank a lot of wine, and so just,
Yeah.
let's play, let's sing it. How it is like, okay.
Anne, hast du noch ein Instrument gespielt?
Ja, ich bin Chorleiter.
Chorleiter, she's a choir director.
Ich habe auch Diplom von Pianistin.
Okay.
Pianistin. Und Sänger.
Und Sänger.
Can you play something for me now?
Can you play something?
Nee.
Please.
Meine Finger sind zu dick geworden, zu fett.
Nein.
Come on.
Kann ich leider
It
nicht.
doesn't matter.
But if somebody asked,
Clementi, please.
Ich kann spielen, aber mit Fehler.
Das macht nichts, mach doch. Freue mich, ja? Und dann muss er was auf der Flöte spielen.
You see?
Because this is now going to be ready in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Because the shrimp go very quickly indeed.
I just have to get my revenge on Massimo. A flute player friend of mine who teaches flute, she always gets her students to blow to show the perfect thing. Can you do this for us? Okay.
I'm not able, sorry. It's better than I'm
Donald, would you
Yes.
really not want to play one note on
No,
my
seriously.
horn?
I think
What
this
a
is going
shame.
really well.
Okay. You don't want
I
to
really don't want to spoil this evening. Would you mind?
How long did you play the horn
It
for?
might be bad enough.
How long did you play the horn
I
for?
took up the horn when I was about 15.
Donald's an honorary member of our horn section.
Oh, you're
Even though
very
he's never
sweet.
played a note, and we might actually revoke this privilege if he doesn't play anything for me tonight.
Oh, no. Really? Gosh, you really
I have to think about it.
leave the best to last. Anyway, no, I started when I was about 15, and the primary reason for taking up the horn for me was because I was already utterly enamored by conducting, and I thought, I need to know what it feels like to play in an orchestra. What do orchestral musicians look to conductors for?
We don't.
On the other side.
That was a joke.
What do, yes, what's it like on the other side of the fence, so to speak? And
Ja?
Well, what do you think it's like on the other side? On the dark side?
I think you're reminded, quite frankly, that
Yeah.
That's
this-
what a conductor sounds like.
Yeah, that's what you sound like. And what do we sound like?
Well, you can sound like gods.
Yeah.
And in other words, our art is ultimately the art of trust, respect, and persuasion. Just that your thoughts about music are shared by other musicians, and even if they don't share it, there is that respect and that trust between both. And the orchestra is fully aware that the conductor is aware that without them, without you, it's not a profession, it's a...
Do you feel sometimes totally out of control? You're probably not anymore, but as a young conductor,
Oh,
we
it's a-
see young conductors come and you can see the panic in their eyes. and,
Well,
at that point, the orchestra takes over and plays by themselves.
I think it's like getting on a horse and you can't ride. The horse that thinks, they don't know what to do. They just, that you smell it. And
Did you have any really long-lasting memories of? Oh, I do apologise. Long-lasting memories of something at this moment. Do you have a reoccurring dream of waking up and having to conduct the Berlin Philharmonic with no rehearsal?
that's a recurring dream. It's a nightmare, and I'm so glad to wake up in a cold sweat. But no, what I would say is I remember a performance of Hansel and Gretel, the first performance I ever conducted, and it got to a place, Hansel, ich weiß den Weg nicht mehr. And for some reason I was doing it a little differently to my predecessor. I can't believe I'm talking and cooking at the same
I
time.
think it's wonderful. Your wife is going to be very proud of you.
And anyway, it came to that place, Hansel, and it's traditional either to go in 4. Dee da dee dum dee da. Gretel. And I thought I would just like to indicate a little bit more line at that point, so I went in 2. But the 2 was such that it could also have been understood as being a 4. Well, half the orchestra went on in 4.
Yes.
I'm talking about beats to a bar. The other half went on 2, and it was just, for a moment, it was Karl-Heinz Stockhausen. It was
It's like
just
a train crash.
It is.
At that moment.
And the singer was at the front of the stage trying to recognize something. And I thought, this is the end of my career. This is it.
Yeah.
It was absolute chaos. And I kept telling people what to do. And 32, 32, 33. And there was a one spot that I thought, okay, it really is. We're going to have to stop and people are going to burst out with laughter. Well, actually, all of a sudden, I said 35 and the horns went, and then everybody knew where they were.
The orchestra, the horns always save the day.
Yes, but I really thought that was the end. Do that well in advance. So I think the potatoes are ready,
Great.
and if they're not,
Ready?
too bad.
Massimo, please set the table for our guests.
You want me to
Yes, please. I want you to
How
set
many
the table.
people? How many people?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say 5.
5.
Wow, that was good. Right, should we prepare each plate? It always gets getting a little bit hectic in the kitchen these last few seconds of cooking. Suspense is killing us. I'm sure it's killing Donald's wife as well.
Without her, this
none
would
of
literally not be
This
happening.
is true. Thanks, Adele.
All right, there's some to start with, okay?
Don't eat them all at once.
And this is what has to. Oh, and this is what has to go. We can either put it on the table. I don't know how much you want.
Anne, ist Knoblauch gut für die Stimme?
Knoblauch?
Ja? Ja. Musst du ihn morgen anhauchen beim Singen?
Ja, klar.
She's going to eat lots of garlic now so that
How are
she
we doing?
can
Is that enough
sing
for
it to
5,
you.
or shall I do a few more?
So how do you feel in Berlin? Do you feel like a Berliner at last, or do you feel your Scottish roots, or do you feel? I know you don't like to be classified as a Scot, although everyone makes this big thing about you being a Scot because it looks good in the papers.
I think it does. I mean, I feel utterly international. I felt incredibly at home in San Francisco and Wyoming. I'm back in Scotland regularly with the BBC Scottish, of course, and I get through to see my family. My mother was alive until about 6 months ago, so there was always a very good reason to go back to Edinburgh. And I'm proud of my roots, but I would say that since I went abroad, as I say, I don't feel remotely patriotic in the sense that Scottish is best. I have a lot to the country for which I can be grateful, but I feel, I've spent my first 9 professional years in Germany, so in many ways it's a coming home.
Sort
And
of
coming to Berlin
international feeling in Berlin, isn't it?
oh, it's extraordinary.
But he's still proud to be a Scot.
It's hot or geil, as they say in German. So,
That might be
I'm
another
going to turn
beat.
this off.
It's off.
Is it off?
It's fine.
You sure?
There you go. Right, off we go to the
Okay.
table. Okay. Then I
All
would
right, I
say,
had
Donald,
nothing to do with this meal.
You get the
This was
try.
all virtual.
You get the throne. I get another
Oh, did you get the broccoli?
Enjoy.
Just the apron.
And the meal is ready. Donald's cooked an amazing Wyoming shrimp, but we have a little appetizer for him to make him feel a little bit at home here in Berlin. We have a little appetizer that he is about to experience in the kitchen. The premiere of the Scottish kitchen.
If I'd known this! The neighbors are already wondering what has happened to this.
So that was the end of our evening. A little appetizer, a Scottish appetizer for Donald. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, guten Appetit and enjoy the music. Thanks. Eat! 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 Hey! So, maybe I'll try the outro again. Should I try the outro again? No.
It's good.
I'm looking forward to your risotto and to your borscht.